Welcome to the channel, everyone. My name is Blue the Jaegers, and today we're going to be doing. Well, actually, I have a couple things to say before we start. Number one, to my very few subscribers, I am sorry to announce that I will no longer be doing daily uploads because I don't want to run out of content ideas before I get too popular. So I'm going to be probably posting 3 to 4 times a week, maybe once a week. We'll see. We're experimenting right now, and I don't know when this video is going to be released. Maybe it'll be today, maybe it'll be tomorrow, maybe I'll release it earlier or later. But yeah, so that's the story there. Also, this is going to be another one of my short videos. I'm going to try to keep this one at 15 minutes, maybe 20 minutes, hopefully. We'll see. Again, yeah, just because we want to keep these short, so I'm going to make shorter videos, so that's exactly what we're doing. Also, I might be going on Tataka this tonight, maybe, if Tataka is on tonight. So yeah, those are my few announcements, and it comes to us on Friday, July 1st. So yeah, let's just jump right into this. So what I'm going to be doing is, remember how I said in an earlier video how Aaron's sort of a cautionary tale? Well, in season one. Today, we're going to be diving into a chapter that is very, very brilliant with its nuance, its morals, its message. It's just wonderful. So let us go into this chapter. I think this is chapter 115, I think. Chapter 114. Alright, so this is, for context, Zeke this is Zeke's back flashback, and he is thinking when he was a kid, and when he heard the Morley government, the secret police, talking about busting the elderly restorationist, and he is going to have dinner with his parents to tell him to stop doing this kind of stuff. This is going to be a brilliant dissection to the nature of freedom, especially with 137 and 139 and almost 137 in our rearview mirror. We can dive right into this chapter. All right, so here we go. So, as I said, he just got done hearing about them right here. These two guys were just talking. So let's just, now he's, all right. So now he's eating dinner with his parents. And he, his mom's, oh wait, oh no, is this not, oh, he says, huh. I was just wondering if the manga was flopped or not. Okay. Huh, Zeke says. What's wrong? Hurry up and eat, Dinah says. Actually, I probably should stop doing that because you know who's talking. My tummy's a little, okay. Dad, Mom, please stop doing dangerous things anymore. If they find you, we're all getting sent to heaven, to the island devils. Oh, the island of devils, all of us as titans. Have you learned anything from me after all this time? We are forever doomed to pathetic death inside these walls unless someone takes a stand. So right here, we have Aaron's ideology, which is why I said when Aaron was talking to his mom, this exact rhetoric, ideology, whatever you want to call it, that's when he flipped out his key. Again, very, very, very purposeful to Isayama. That's why he says, that's right. We told you that this is a fight for your future, the future of all Eldians, remember. Now, Zeke has to face the very real consequences of fighting for freedom. Even if that means they end up like Aunt Fea, or Faye, I forgot, I don't know how to pronounce her name. Now, of course, a couple things with this. Now, of course, this is for the reader, a very sad experience because Fea was just an innocent girl doing whatever, and then, her fate befalls her was not very pretty. But that's what happens when you try to seek freedom. When you're an Eldian, this sort of stuff happens. So he's asking, well, maybe we should just stay inside and not go outside the walls. And this strikes a nerve in his father, not only because this is his sister, and he blames himself for this, not only those two things, but he's repudiating the exact ideology that he despises, which is, to live inside walls like livestock and blah, 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 let your oppressors oppress you. And of course, he yells, Zeke, you know that Faye was only killed in the first place because of how crazy this world is. We need to fight so that no one ever meets her fate again. Again, I love this dialogue here because, yes, well, first off, I was gonna say yes, Grisha's the bad guy here, but first off, both these two people are bad people, right? In the present, Zeke's a good guy, right? He's the good guy. He's the voice of reason. His dad is the bad guy. He's an overbearing father. But of course, we know that Zeke goes on to become a horrible murderous killer. And by the way, most of these videos are not my opinion. I will tell you when I'm telling you my opinion. I'm just stating facts. Just because I said Zeke's a horrible murderous killer does not mean I don't like him or don't agree with his actions. All it means is he's a murderous killer. Okay. So, and when I say Grisha's a bad guy, I don't mean that I don't like him. I'm just saying he's the bad guy. All right. So, hate that to make the disclaimer, but we have to get that out of the way. So, and he says this, which is a good point. Not only are they fighting for their freedom, I mean, this is happening to a bunch of other kids. And I love, that's what I was saying. I love this conversation because of the points these two are making are very, very good, and they're very nuanced, and they're you'll see. Great points, great dialogue here. We are taking a strong Eldia back from Marley. We're going to win the rights we deserve. Which, again, can you really argue with this? Not really, because the Eldians are being persecuted. Again, further above, they got water poured on them, whether they go outside or not. And the reason why I say they got water poured on them is because they're just minding their own business. One could say, well, if you mind your own business, then they won't kill you. Well, these people just were persecuted today just for walking. And he says, but Grandpa said he hadn't gone outside the walls. Okay, right? So-and-so would have happened, right? And, of course, Grandpa's supposed to be the bad guy, right? And then he says, what did I do wrong? I just want to see the airship. All right, so I just want to read the chapter for you, just so you can get the context. Now, why am I bringing this chapter to your guys' attention? Because this dialogue right here is what I like to call the micro message, the micro point, the micro moral of the story, which is about the nature of freedom, as it relates to you personally. The story is about the cycle of violence, but it's also about the nature of freedom, among other things. So, he ends the conversation by saying, what did I do wrong? I just wanted to go to the airship. Now, me being a Jaegers, which is what I was, and I am still Jaegers, me being the Jaegers was completely on Grisha's side. I was like, what is wrong with this Zeke kid? And earlier in the chapter before, earlier in this chapter, he says, when he's failing from the Marley school, he's like, well, I failed the Marley school, but it's for the best. At least we'll still be alive, right? But this perfectly explains why Eren is not the guy you should look up to in season 1 and why freedom isn't what you think it is. Because right here, we're seeing Zeke, who says, let's just be complacent with our current lives. We just need to stay in the walls. We can live together, be fine. Sure, we'll get persecuted, but we'll be able to be alive. And Grisha is saying, no, let's actually continually fight for our freedom, no matter the consequence, by the way. And let's keep fighting for our freedom, no matter how many people die, and we're going to win all these rights back from Eldia. Now, for some people, this is why I love Attack on Titan. For some people, in this situation, Grisha's the bad guy. He should be saying this to his son. In another situation, people may be saying, well, Zeke is the bad guy, like me and my fellow Jaegers. So, like, this is ridiculous, Zeke. What are you talking about? For other people, maybe what I like to call Papa Jaeger, who's basically the Zeke, who was perfectly fine staying inside the walls. But who is really in the right? Who is really in the right? Who has the right ideology here? Believe it or not, as ridiculous as it sounds, it actually might be Zeke. It actually might be Zeke. Because what do we see happen? What do we see happen with the ideology? Right? Before this, maybe I can find it, but before this, and this is why I say that Grisha would have done this regardless. Grisha would have eaten the founder regardless. Let's see if I can find it. Maybe I won't try to waste you guys' time too much, but maybe I'll just edit this out. Probably not. Alright. It appears I cannot find it. But he says that Zeke can restore Eldia because he is his son. The exact same thing he said to Aaron when he was bringing Aaron to the woods to inherit the fountain of the Attack Titan. When Keith asked him, well, what if he's just a normal guy? He said, how do you know you can do this? He said, because he is my son. Exactly. So, Grisha has always had this in him where he was going to continually fight for freedom, based upon hatred as well. He desires freedom, but he also is very hateful of the Marleyans. Now, why am I saying that Papa Yeager and Zeke were in the right here? This is simply because we see in 139 and 137 how to actually enjoy life. What does he say? Small, trivial moments might be meaningful, he says. And he says this because those give you true joy. Because anything else, there's always a limit. For example, if you want money, well, maybe you're in poverty. Maybe you get out of poverty. Guess what? You're still going to want money. You get more money. You're a millionaire. Maybe you want to be a billionaire. And maybe you never become a billionaire. So your entire life, you're not free because you're not a billionaire. Same thing with anything else. Insert that into anything else. Freedom. There's not going to be a time where Aaron's as free as he wants to be, because he's always going to be limited by something. He's going to be limited by time, both time of day, as he has only so much amount of time in one day, and that he cannot be in two places at once. And also, his time on the earth is limited, especially because he has a curse in Ymir. So he's never going to be as free as he really thinks as he ever wants to be, right? He has physical limitations that make him unfree, which is why he's supposed to be a cautionary tale, sort of, in a way, in season 1, because his insatiable thirst to crush titans is not exactly as well placed as you think it is. And we see where Grisha's ideology leads. It only repeats the cycle of violence. They fight for their freedom. They overcome the Marleyans. Great. But what happens? After they secure these rights and become a great Eldia? What happens? They get enslaved to their own thirst for power. They want more and more land power, or whatever. So this fight is never over, which is why the Marleyan military is still advancing. Yes, it's also for defense, of course it is, but it's also so that they can conquer more lands, and we know that they want to conquer Parity specifically because of her high, because of her, what would you call that? Gas resources. Gas, whatever. She has a lot of gas. Parity has a lot of gas. And so they were going to conquer it so they can fund their, expeditionary expansion, expeditionary wars and whatnot. So that's why I say we even see that Marley is becoming more and more thirsty for power, and it's exactly what happened to Eldia. Eldia was a small tribe that all of a sudden ended up conquering an entire continent. An entire continent because their thirst for power was never, ever subdued. That's where Grisha's ideology leads. That's what Grisha's ideology is. And Grisha's ideology makes it so he can be never happy. Now, some of you may say, well, he shouldn't be happy because he's not free. Understandable. Maybe he shouldn't be happy. Maybe no one should ever be happy since they are always unfree. They do not have the power to do whatever they want to, whenever they want to. Especially when you start adding not only physical limitations, but social limitations, as like I just said. Money. But Zeke was just content to be alive. And as wild as it seems, Isayama is trying to say, even though he's right, even though Grisha is right, because again, Grisha said, what did I do wrong? He didn't do anything wrong. He did nothing wrong. That's why I love this dialogue so much. That's why I absolutely love this dialogue. He did nothing wrong. He just went to see an airship. That's all he wanted to do. But at the same time, was it really a good idea to push the boundaries for freedom? All of us thought he was stupid or being too hard on himself for blaming himself for his sister's death. But maybe, and I'm not saying he should or shouldn't be blamed for his sister's death or how much or how little. I am just simply saying, did he really need to go see the airship? Was that really necessary? Maybe it was. Maybe it is his right. After all, it's the airship. All I want to do is see an airship. Perfectly fine. But maybe he should have stayed home and been content with his life. And we see this in 137, where Armin is describing how to be happy. And again, Armin is not Papa Yeager, because Papa Yeager is also wrong, because Papa Yeager does not desire anything else but to be complacent. Armin wants to do things, wants to see things, but seeing things, I say this over and over again, but it's been, Isayama said this as well, something to this effect. Armin, when he hears about the ocean, he's like, oh, great, that's more things I can explore, that's more things I can experience. Eren sees the ocean, like, I am owed the ocean, I am born into this world, the ocean is my birthright, I am allowed to see the ocean whenever I want to, I should be able to see the ocean whenever I want to, which is totally, completely understandable and logical. So when he goes to the ocean, he cannot enjoy himself. Everyone heard about the basement. No, not everyone can story his hand, understandable, but everyone heard about the horrors that was awaiting them outside the walls. I want you to understand that they were close to killing every single one of the Titans in the world. So they thought their problems were over. They go to the ocean, and instead of sulking about, oh man, I can't believe there's still Titans, I can't believe there's still enemies, I can't believe there's more Titans, I can't believe, they put all that to the side, and they just enjoyed the water, and Armin got to see a seashell. And you know what? That's what makes him different from Erwin, is that he saw the seashell, and he was like, okay, great, I still have more to push forward to. I still want to explore more stuff. He saw the seashell, it's great. Cross that off, I can go to the next thing now. And, I mean to say that he didn't, his thirst for curiosity, his drive, what he was drunk on did not disappear. Once he saw the seashells in the ocean, he had more to look forward to. But Eren, being the absolute bitter person that he is worried about, what, maybe if we kill our enemies, we'll be free. No, you don't get it, Eren. You're free right now. Again, I know, you guys are all angry at me. You guys will think I'm stupid. And again, today is Friday, so you are more than welcome, or maybe this is not coming out on Friday, but you're more than welcome to have a conversation with me about it. Thursdays and Fridays at nights. More than welcome to have a conversation with me about it. But everyone else there is free. They're smiling, they're having a good time. Armin just fulfilled his dream. They're splashing each other, and Eren's worried about killing his enemies. Okay, and this is an allegory for his life. There he is with Mikasa, the love of his life, which he did love since the beginning. I will tell you. I don't need to explain it. I'll explain it maybe later, but let's just say that he loved her, right? Was his freedom. Being with her was his freedom. That's all he needed, was just to be with her and love her and whatever. But instead, he constantly pushes her away, ignores her, does not acknowledge her love for him. He does sometimes, but is mostly consumed, as the song says, consumed with surging bloodlust. For fighting for freedom and getting rid of all the Titans. Which, again, is why that line, and I'm going to show a video about why that line is so misunderstood. When he says, if we kill our enemies, we'll finally be free. The answer to that question is no, of course not. Of course we wouldn't be free. But Zeke has the right idea. At least we're still alive, and they can still make the best of what your situation is when you're alive. And on top of that, you can still have visions and aspirations and goals for the future. Again, the point of Eren, one of the points of Eren, and the point of Grisha, and the point of season 1, one of the points of season 1, is don't be consumed with what you're owed. That if you just I wouldn't say let go, because in the story, read the story. I'll explain it much better than I will. But if you just allow yourself, because Eren wasn't allowing himself to be free. He didn't feel like he was actually free until he killed all Titans and then it morphed to killing Marley and so on and so forth. If you allow yourself, and it is a literal, and I do mean in the literal sense, if you allow yourself to be free in your own circumstance, you will be happier and you will be free. But notice how I just said, if you allow yourself. Eren is literally a slave to freedom, which sounds ridiculous, but he is, because he's not allowing himself to be free emotionally unless he tastes what he thinks physical freedom is, which there is no such thing. Alright, so that is the video. Hope you guys liked it. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Make sure to like and subscribe. And I just hit my time limit. Maybe it'll be shorter in editing. But yeah, thank you for sticking on. Thank you for watching. And I'll see you in the next video.